All right, it's time for another playing with the Race Buggy and learning everything I can about it. Trying to figure out a bit of a baseline for where it's at, making a list of to-dos and that sort of thing. So for anybody watching, I've got some things that if you can guess what it is, you're helping me out because I have no idea. Let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to try to figure out is this one. Okay. 2 studs on a mount, clears the power steering pump maybe, and then this round one, nothing in there. My head says jack, but that's pretty short for like a high lift, a high lift jack. Over there we've got another tab. So I figured out most of the tabs that are kind of burnt like this probably were added later, kind of like this guy. And the paint wasn't kind of kept up the best. I don't know what that hole's about either. It's probably clearance for something on a previous motor because this isn't the motor it came with. Wicked thing is, Weber carb. And here's a neat little thing. Let's see if we can see this. Keep an eye on the squirters. Can you see? Nah, you can't see. Either way, the accelerator pump looks like a squirt gun, like a little one of those little kind of squirt guns, not like a fizzy kind of thing or like a bit of a mist, like a steady squirt gun going down the bore, and that's good. That's what you want. That's a lot of times where your hesitation is, I find. Other hesitation, of course, can be related to mechanical advance with no vacuum advance for the distributor there. Just a multitude of things, or just jetting's not quite right. So I won't know how bad that is or how good that is until we actually get to drive it and drive it with a bit of stink. I'm going to do something with that guy. I mean, it might just get zip tied in place because it has broken its mounts. Going to replace the crunchy wires with ones that are not crunchy. Probably already talked about that. I do know that all of the hoses under here were kind of mock-up hoses and shouldn't be staying in there. We'll do some cleanup on this. It's not a big deal. Pretty nice to actually see that it's probably because there's a new cable in there. What else? Honestly, the back here is pretty reasonable. So I've learned some things about the buggy. It's oh god, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. A Chenoth, which is a pretty reputable chassis manufacturer. Obviously they don't come with those doors, or sorry, not doors, but those bars right there. All in all, pretty stout. There is a mild possibility that this is not just mild steel, that this sucker is made out of chromoly, which might explain why it's a little bit hard to weld to. Although, in all honesty, I've never tried to weld chromoly. I just, in the back of my head, have some recollection that it changes stuff up for you. So here is part of the airbox kind of system. So you'd come out of that hose, go up top to where those two U-shaped brackets are. And I'd have the log there with the 2 filters on it. Pretty slick setup. The neat thing, so that's kind of aluminum colored. It's looking kind of dingy. Look inside of that. Gold anodized. I have no idea if someone can gold anodize something still. Like even this looks more gold on film or video than it kind of is in person. But with both of them, I'm looking at it like, man, if I can find somebody that can gold anodize that gold with like freshened up red, oh, it looks so good. purely cosmetic, but it looks so good. Figured out some oil cooler stuff, so I think I'm debating just ditching everything that's there. That one and the other one. Putting one in there that's got some fans on it that runs on a thermostat. That might be the way. It might be the way. Either way, fairly straightforward, although some of it's still a mystery. There still might be some fancy gears in that bus transaxle. I mean, the previous owner was understandably non-committal about that, not being the guy who did it. He just was told that there was possibly a different gear set in it, but he doesn't know. Welcome to the jankiest air filter. It's a pre-filter that you'd normally put on either a Weber like this or an HPMX MP. It's a pre-filter. And I thought, you know what? I don't like leaving wide open holes, leading into wide open holes that can suck stuff inside. So there you go. Now it can't ingest bolts and cloths and, I don't know, other things motors might like to ingest that I would be upset that it ingested. So one of the things I'm going to be figuring out is I already put new rivets and big penning washers up on the front of the roof where it rotates. It's actually a pretty slick little hinge they made that goes around the roll bar. But I'm not the hugest fan of at the back. It used some of those rubber, I don't know, you could use them as tie down, like rubber hood latches on an old Jeep or something. I don't think Jeeps use them that much, but use them on the front of bugs and stuff like that. They're rubber. It's like got a ball on the rubber, and it kind of sits in a little slotted pocket. And they're okay, but I look at it on the roof, and I'm like, yeah, if I'm on my side, I don't want to have to be trying to undo 3 of those while somebody's trying to get me out. I did try going in through the window, though, and I can do it, and it was awful. I'm going to feel it tomorrow. Yeah, it just... Proof I can do it, especially with the steering wheel off. So yeah, I think steering wheel quick disconnect will be in this thing's future. And that's not because the buggy wasn't done right. That's because I need to make the buggy fit me. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing kind of like a slam latch on the back of it in one spot that has like an internal little ball that you can push forward, and that releases it from the inside or the outside. Then it would kind of slam shut. I'll do some padding on it. I've got some good foam stuff it's slick plastic on the top side of it, so it's pretty durable. It's meant for going between truck toppers and the rails on a truck bed. So that'll, I think, be a good thing to put on the top of the roof. And then, yeah, little by little, I'm going to put my own little flavor on this thing, just like everybody before me. And little by little, I'm learning more and more names of people who have owned this before or raced this buggy or helped to build this buggy. It's starting to feel like if we get a nice summer day, I'm going to have to roll it out of the shop once it's a bit more cleaned up and have like a reunion day and let everybody come around and see what it's looking like and what I've done to it and everything. And, you know, give some tips on what they would have done or what they did that they would have done differently, or just what someone else has done that looks interesting. I think it'd just be kind of neat and nostalgic for the guys to just see it again. Maybe that's just me being a big softy and thinking about, I don't know, you kind of get attached to mechanical things, especially when you craft them on your own, like the Overland trailer I built. That'll always be my trailer. I mean, I might sell that, but there's always a lot of me in that one. Anyways, not too much to add today. That's about it. So, catch you guys later, and we'll see where this thing takes us.